Hey YouTube, thanks for the click. Andy here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Logitech Pop Icon Keys, which is a big name for a small keyboard. This is Logitech's mid-range travel size keyboard. It retails for $50 and it comes in a variety of fun colors like the lilac color I have here. So let's go ahead and talk about whether this keyboard is any good and if it's something you should consider buying at $50 or maybe wait for it on sale. As someone who appreciates charming gadgets, the cute and colorful design of the Pop Icon Keys makes an immediate positive impression. The rounded rectangular keycaps and suite of tastefully executed contrasting pastel color schemes set it apart from the common black, white, or silver keyboards. The rest of the keyboard is similarly rounded to round out a cohesive look, and the cutesy aesthetic might not be for everyone, but I actually quite like it. As for the build quality, there are no illusions that this is not a plastic keyboard, but it has more weight than it looks like, and it offers more rigidity than I expected as well. I'll note that the plastics don't feel particularly premium to touch, but they're not horribly low quality either. Durability is an aspect of the Pop Icon I haven't tested thoroughly, though I have traveled quite a bit by bus, train, and plane with it stuffed into a heavy, overpacked backpack with 2 laptops, a couple cameras, lots of other stuff, and it showed no signs of wear or had any issues from that travel. While it's hard to say with any certainty, I do get the impression that this keyboard can take a beating and keep working, which is a definite perk for a travel keyboard. Preparing the keyboard for use reveals 2 AAA batteries powering the Pop Icon Keys. Since high-quality rechargeable batteries are pretty affordable these days, I don't actually mind electronics that use standardized replaceable battery types, though the lack of an included rechargeable battery does feel like something a lot of people will be missing on a $50 compact keyboard. Continuing on to usage, the Pop Icon does not include a 2.4 GHz dongle, instead relying entirely on Bluetooth connectivity. I've had no issues with Bluetooth connectivity, even in hotel environments, which can be a little dicier for radio frequency interference, but it's worth noting there could be a bit more lag if you plan to use this for gaming. That Bluetooth connectivity does allow you to connect to up to 3 devices, and pairing is done by holding down the F1 through F3 keys, which are also used to switch between those paired devices. It's worked flawlessly with both my MacBook and personal Windows laptop, and it has keycap legends for both Mac and PC usage. Let's go ahead and talk about the typing experience. Key travel is deep with a consistent but slightly mushy actuation. The slight mushiness does make the Pop Icon a mostly very quiet keyboard, though the edges of the spacebar can betray that serenity a bit. The key press feel is pleasant but unremarkable. One area that requires a bit of a learning curve are the smaller keycaps. With a large amount of space between the keys, even by chiclet keyboard standards, the keyboard is overall a pretty normal size compared to laptop keyboards, but I did find myself making more typos than normal for the first couple of weeks due to the smaller than normal keycaps. This is one area where I think Logitech overly prioritized the styling, clearly hoping to evoke the look of a typewriter, I think. Like a typewriter of old, the Pop Icon does not feature any backlighting. Unlike a typewriter, there are 4 programmable keys on the right side of the keyboard, which is useful to accommodate for the trimmed down selection of keys on such a compact keyboard. I'm still on my original battery from late February, although I haven't used this a ton outside of that first month when I was traveling a bunch, so I can't really comment on the long-term battery life, but it seems to be perfectly decent. Alright, and that's really all I have to say about the Pop Icon Keys, so I guess it's time for conclusion now. And it's kind of tough to evaluate. I think it's a bit pricey at $50. I don't think the typing experience is particularly good for $50. In fact, I know it's not. You can get like budget mechanical keyboards in that price range. I think even wireless. So like there are definitely better typing options for $50, but as a travel keyboard, it does seem pretty durable. There are also some other travel keyboard options. There's the Keychron B1, I think, which is about $10 cheaper. I haven't used that. I've read some reviews. It seems like maybe it's a bit flimsier than this. I mentioned the sturdiness of the Pop Icon Keys. So that could be a factor that helps make it worth the money a little bit. I have a pretty hard time recommending it at $50 just due to the not so great typing experience for the price, but it's not a bad typing experience. It does look great, and I do have a lot of confidence that it will last even if you don't baby it. So the extra 10 bucks might be worth it if you don't mind sacrificing a bit on the typing experience, but want a really robustly built keyboard. All right, I wish I had a bit of a clearer recommendation for you, but I hope this was helpful nonetheless in helping you decide if the Pop Icon Keys might be the keyboard for you. If you have any questions about it, or if you're interested in having me check out the Keychron B1 to compare the two, definitely leave a comment and I'll do my best to help out. Thanks for watching and have a good one.